So, RizeUp Media has just been informed that for the second year in a row that we have been selected to the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in the country. We're very proud of this distinction. In the last year, I believe we've actually doubled in revenue and in size and continue to have that sort of growth. Expect to see that continue year after year, but it's an honor to be chosen again, which is just a testimony to the work that we do and the clients that we do it for. My name is Vaidas. I am a client development marketing specialist at RizeUp Media. I've been working in legal marketing across the country over the last 25 years and have been with RizeUp for 2.5. Digital marketing for lawyers is critical today because it's really the most important aspect of how people are going to research the firm and if they're the firm that wants to get hired. So what I tell everybody is it doesn't matter how great your firm is, people are going to go to Google and they're going to research you. So their first impression of your law firm will probably be your website. So what does your website say about your expertise, your experience, your ability to get results? Your Google reviews matter. People take a look at are people happy with the services they get from you? So having your digital marketing footprint, which encompasses your website, your Google My Business, your social media, I would think is the most important aspect of being online and being a law practice today. When it comes to digital marketing, there's a lot of different things you can do, but there's really the basics that every law firm should do. The first thing is you need to claim and utilize your Google My Business. And that's where your reviews go. That's where your ability to advertise with Google's local service ads is tied to your Google My Business, and it doesn't cost you anything to actually set up your Google My Business. That's the first thing I would tell anybody to do. The second thing is have a website. Even if you're just starting out and you don't have any money, there's ways to get a website out that if somebody is looking for you, they're going to be able to find you. As you grow, or if you're in a position where you're already in a market or have been around a long time, spending money where you can get SEO services or have content in a website that appears in searches. You can go through social media aspects, you can go through Google local service ads, you can go through pay-per-click. But if your website can't be found, people aren't going to know who you are. And so being seen in all of those places is the best way to expose yourself to your new potential clients. The most important aspect of your website performance is content. There are so many companies out there that will build you a website, write you a few pages of content, and then they'll never write content again except for a blog post or maybe an intermittent page. The number one aspect of whether your website is going to perform is the content that is written for it and how that content is written. The content needs to be written not only for the topic, but for the geography and in a competitive analysis way that you are analyzing who's showing up ahead of you and how that content needs to be written to outperform. Because if you're not on the first page of Google, it doesn't matter. Nobody goes to page 2. The other thing that's really important in the firms that are the most successful is they write content geographically. So if they want to get clients in 5 different cities, 5 different towns, 5 different counties, unique content is written for every one of those counties, cities, or towns. You can't just have one page, throw a couple geography terms on that page and expect it to show up. So the firms that actually have that sort of strategic geographical content are the most successful, and those are the ones that can dominate a market. Web design is important because it's your first impression. We've all probably seen a website, whether it's a lawyer website or another website, you pull it up and it just looks old. It's not the right format, the font, the type is small, and you can just look at it like it hasn't been touched in years. The first impression needs to be a good one, so you want something clean, that looks professional, represents what the firm does, because that's basically going to decide on whether somebody's going to continue to maybe look into what you do and who you do it for and the type of lawyers that work for you, or they initially, that first impression says, no, this thing looks dated and old, I'm going to go somewhere else. The other really important thing about that is I see even good websites, if you look at some of their content, you go to their blog and their latest blog post is 5 years old. That sends a message that what else on here is 5 years old? In other words, it hasn't been kept up to date. So you want your website to be a living, breathing extension of your law firm, meaning stuff should be happening on it all the time. At RizeUp Media, we write content for all of our clients every single month. We do social media. We continue to feed the website not only for performance aspects, but for a visual and having new content added on a very regular basis. So local service ads, for those that don't know, is Google's pay-per-call program. If you do a search for any type of attorney, typically you're going to see photos show up of a couple attorneys, and it'll say sponsored and it'll be tied to the Google My Business. Those are your local service ads. The reason that these things work so well and why bluntly every market should have attorneys participating in it is right now they show up above everything else. They show up above the maps, they show up above the organic results, and more important, it's a program where you're only getting charged by Google for phone calls. If you're there and somebody clicks on you, it doesn't cost you anything. Only if you actually get a phone call is Google going to charge you a certain amount for that phone call, which is different for different practice areas, different for different markets. So there's ways to get an estimate of what that would be. And the other best part of this program is that if you get calls for things that you don't do, or if it's a current client or a marketing call, you can actually get your money back from Google. So I tell every firm out there, especially if you're just trying to get revenue in the door, you can get your phone ringing almost immediately in most markets with the LSA ads. The biggest challenge or the biggest sort of hesitation that I see from law firm in doing marketing, whether it's a new website or any of these programs, is unfortunately a bad experience that they've already had with somebody else. Having done this for 25 years, I always get asked, who's your biggest competitor? My biggest competitor is the last 3 or 4 people they've dealt with or had an experience with. They've been lied to, they've been promised the same thing. The last guy said the same thing you're saying. So they're hesitant because they've been burned. That's one of the reasons at RizeUp Media why we don't do contracts. Everything we do is month to month. That provides us the ability to deliver for you, and if you don't, you can leave at any time. A lot of people get tied into long-term contracts, buy something that they have buyer's remorse on, and the companies don't care. They leave them stuck in contracts paying for something that has no value. Our approach at RizeUp Media, with any firm that we work with, doesn't matter if they're just starting out or if they've been around for 20 years, is to do a quick analysis of what you currently have out there. That is either your website, your presence on social media, your presence on Google My Business, and we take an analysis to take a look at, are you getting anything currently from what you have? And if you are, there may be good things to continue, or in a lot of cases, you have no visibility and you're paying for something that you actually think is going on, and a lot of times there's no continued work being done. So what we do is offer everything from local service ads to Google pay-per-click to full website SEO redesign. Some of our clients take advantage of all of our services, some of them take advantage of just part of them, but we offer options for all of our clients. Typically, we'll do an analysis of what you're looking for as a law firm, who your competition is, and what it's actually going to take to be able to get results in that market. The other aspect is from a website standpoint, SEO is a long-term game. There's no fast way to get you onto the first page of Google organically. That's why some of the other programs like LSAs and pay-per-click can make a lot of sense, even if it's a temporary sort of stopgap while you're building the organic visibility. If you're a law firm and you're trying to figure out what marketing you should be doing, or if your marketing is working, or should you be doing something else, we offer a free, no obligation analysis. Take a look under the hood, if you will. We'll not only take a look at what you're doing, we'll take a look at what your competition's doing, and we'll make suggestions to you based on a lot of factors, whether it's geographical, practice area, type of cases that you want, your bandwidth to take new cases. We'll offer you solutions to address exactly what you're trying to accomplish with your marketing and tell you which ones would have the quickest results, which ones might take longer, and which ones would make sense for your firm based on the goals that you have.